In today's episode of Behind the Visor, I'm joined by Ste phane Kox, a Dutch racing driver who's risen through the ranks in her early career racing in go-karts and in single-seaters at the same time. I found that quite interesting, which we did speak about that somewhat in this video. Then she went on to race in sort of tin-top cars, then going on to race in supercars and even LMP3 cars. So she's a really interesting career. It's also interesting that her father, Peter Kox, raced and won at Le Mans and also raced and won many other big races in his career. It was interesting to know about the relationship they had with each other and what the inspiration of Peter was for Ste phane. It's a really interesting career story so far, and also the fact that she's really struggled to get sort of a full-time ride over the last couple of seasons. It was really interesting to see how she managed to do so for 2018. So enjoy this episode of Behind the Visor with Ste phane Kox. Hello everyone, today we are joined with Ste phane Kox, European GT4 driver. So we're going to talk about your career a little bit here today. So growing up, did you have an idol? I know your dad obviously raced in motorsport. Was he the guy you looked up to when you were younger?
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to say. You know, I've been involved in motorsport since I was a baby. And so obviously, yeah, it's a bit in my blood. Yeah. So he was always my big example, yeah.
So growing up, you sort of stepped into go-karts, I guess, and then did your family really support that? I mean, I know obviously your dad in racing, but did he want you to go that career or did he want to go somewhere else?
Well, to be honest, I never felt the pressure to do so. So he bought a small go-kart for me when I was 10 years old, but then it didn't work out and we sold it and I went horse riding and tennis and I did everything else. But in the end, I came back to karting myself because I wanted to. Yeah. And then we made it as like a hobby thing. My mum supported it as well. But in the end it went so well that we made the step to cars. But it was never any pressure from my family. Obviously he likes it so much. But no, there was no pressure at all. It was my own choice.
Yeah, and you raced karts and cars at the same time, remember correctly, in the same year?
Yeah, so like more or less the last 2 years of karting, I already did some cars. Yeah.
Did you find that transition hard or was it quite natural?
Well, for me it was quite natural because karting was already very natural to me. It still is because I really love it. But the cars, you know, you need some time to get used to it because it's heavier and everything is a bit different. The side is different, but yeah, you know, karting is the base of cars. So you, in my opinion, you really need to do karting before you go into cars.
Did you find it hard to sort of make a name for yourself in the sport? I mean, there's so many people out here trying to race, obviously, and you've managed to get now a nice ride for a full season. Did you find that hard, or is it always quite, you know, natural that it was going to happen?
No, it's very hard, I must say, because you know, motorsport is with lots of different factors, and you have to have the talent. You have to be at the right place in the right time. And this year I'm very lucky to have found a sponsor and that I will be able to do a whole season, you know, because up until now, except for the first year, but up until now I've only done like a race there. So I'm really happy with the consistency. Yeah. And I hope to be able to show what I've got this year and then maybe to get into the consistency a bit more.
So does it make it quite special winning a single make championship like the BMW championship that you won? Is it quite nice to know that you were just the best driver out there?
Yeah, it is. You know, we had quite a successful year. We won also the 24 Hours of Solder. And yeah, it gives you confidence because in my opinion, racing and driving is also a mind game. You know, you have to know that you can do the corner in fifth gear. So it's also for your own confidence that you know, okay, I'm a good driver, you know, and I can do this. Yeah. So it helped me to gain a bit more confidence and to grow as a driver in general.
So you're talking about your 24-hour races. Did you have to prepare any differently for that? I mean, obviously you've got to have that mental game once again to have to stick with it for so many hours.
Well, to be honest, no. This comes quite naturally to me, I think. And I've seen my father doing it for years and I know how he prepared. And, you know, talking to him really calms me down and he knows what to say to me. So, yeah, I think he's my preparation, more or less, yeah.
So far in your career, you've had a few standout moments. I don't know, they're joining this team. Was it winning the BMW Championship, that standout moment so far, your favourite moment?
Well, winning a championship is one of my favorite moments. But the first year I was in cars, I was in Formula cars, and this is also an exceptional feeling, you know. But then last year I did a race with my father in the LMP3, so the Le Mans P3 car, And this was maybe one of the best moments out of my career.
I guess that's quite a special moment, isn't it? Is that the first time over your career that you've done that?
Well, we also driven together with the BMW, but in this kind of car, you know, the LMP3 is a serious race car. And to be able to do that, that was really one of my goals. And also in 2014, I think, we raced together in the Blancpain Endurance Series. He was on the Audi with WRT, and I was on a Ferrari 488. And then we raced against each other. And people always ask me, what is your goal in life? Or what is your goal in sport? And then I say my goal in racing is to be competing against my father. And I did. So I have to...
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. This university project I'm doing is entering my first motor race. So how important is fitness during that whole regime? Did you have to train quite a lot to build up for that first season in cars?
Yes, you do have to be fit, you know. Maybe not even physically, but that hard, because in my opinion, nowadays drivers always hang in the gym, you know, 24/7, sometimes 2 times a day. In my opinion, that's not necessary. You have to be able to concentrate. You have to be able to perform in high temperatures, and and that's the most important thing. Obviously, you need your core. Obviously, you need your shoulders, but you have to relativate, you know, and you can train 3 times a day, but if you're not fast enough, you're not fast enough. So you need to be fit, but
like lots of testing, lots of stuff to be very
important. You need to be in the car. That's the only thing you need to do. You need to be in the car or in the kart or whatever you do. You need to, because when I drive, that are the muscles I need. I can put in a gym like this, and then in the car I'm using different muscles. So drive.
Train the right area as well. Yeah. So we're in the early stages of the 2018 season. Do you have any aims going into this season? Like you said, first full season in quite a long time. What's your aim really for it?
Well, first of all, this is a super competitive field this year. We have 46 or 44 cars, so it's not that simple now. But yeah, I think we have a competitive car, aside from the BOP. So my goal was to be in top 10 consistent. I have to admit that from Zolder on and this weekend again, we had too many issues, of which I'm really, I'm really also a bit fed up with it, you know, because you want to race, and now I'm standing beside my race car, so that's not good. So I really hope we improve that during the season, and then in the end that we can come back stronger.
So one of my last questions was, you've driven quite a few crazy cars in your time. Is there one that stands out? Is it this one or the one that you've driven with your dad?
It's the LMP3 for sure, because the car has so much downforce. It's like a proper race car, no ABS, no traction control. It's just you, the car, and lots of downforce. So that was by far the nicest car I've driven.
Very pure, I guess.
Very pure racer. Yeah.
So my last question was, for any young drivers out there watching this video right now, would you have any advice for them to try and break in the sport?
Well, it's very hard, but you always have to believe in what you are doing, you know, because there's so much going on in the world, in the racing world. People are talking and you see things and you think, how do they do that? But stick to your own plan and stick to your own dreams, because in the end, that's what counts.
Thanks for joining me on this episode, and we'll see you all soon. Goodbye. So there is another episode of Behind the Visor. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Something a little bit different. That's the second episode, or the second one I recorded, the Blancpain at Brands Hatch earlier this year in May, if I remember correctly. I once again apologise for taking so long to get this video uploaded. I don't really have a proper excuse. I guess I had university towards the end of May, having to finish that, and then I just sort of had loads of trips at the start of my summer holiday, so didn't really have much of a break, but that's probably no excuse to not get this video up a little bit earlier at least. So thank you once again to George for helping me edit this one. I'll leave a link to his channel somewhere. It might be at the end of this video or in the description, but yeah, please just show him a little bit of support on some of his videos he did for the university. I think he'd appreciate that. He's a really, really good editor, and I appreciate him taking the time to help me out with this one, because I was not good enough to do so in short enough time. So yeah, I appreciate him doing that. Obviously, thank you to Ste phane. A really, really good interview. I think some really interesting answers there as well, for obviously for me just in general, and then also for me for my university project. So yeah, thanks Ste phane for her time. She was really, really welcoming. I did message a few people, and I think she was the only person, or one of 2 people, to respond to me. So I really, really appreciate that. That's really, really awesome to get some sort of response. It was really, really awesome, and I really enjoyed the interview as well, so I think it all worked out really, really well. So yeah, thanks once again. Thanks to George for editing. Massive thanks to Ste phane for doing the interview, and yeah, wish her the best of luck for the rest of the season. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys around soon. Goodbye.